What's going on, guys? It's your boy Player X here with the Semi-Limited Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Just wanted to thank our viewers and our listeners today for tuning in and supporting the podcast. Love that you guys have been interacting with us, sharing the pages, supporting all of the endeavors that we got going on. So much love to you guys for showing love to us. Before we get into today's episode, which is just a really quick emergency episode for you guys, I think we all know why. Just please be sure to go to that Linktree link down in the description box below. To be sure to follow all of our social sites, you can go down there, follow our YouTube, our Spotify, our Twitter, or X, whatever the hell, Instagram. All that stuff is all down below. The Facebook page, YouTube, yada yada. So be sure to go down there in that description box, click that link, and you'll be sure to hit all the sites. Also, we've officially hit some 50 subscribers on YouTube. Congratulations to us. Yay. So thank you for all the support on there. And that means we will be giving away a free prize at the end of this episode to one lucky subscriber. So hopefully you're one of the first 50 to get on board with it. There will be more giveaways. Don't worry. Don't fret that it's not you this time or whatever. When we hit 50 followers on X or Twitter, and then when we hit 50 followers on TikTok, we'll be doing giveaways, as well as when we hit 100 followers on YouTube now, or 100 followers on Instagram, which I think we're only 8 or 5 away from, so pretty close right there. We will also be doing giveaways for you guys, whether they be play sets of cards, maybe merchandise, maybe accessories, some extra stuff on the side. You never quite know when it comes to the Semi-Limited Podcast. So be sure to check in, and we'll be doing that at the end of the episode. Also, shout out to Unplugged Gaming in Manliness, New York for sponsoring the podcast. Be sure to join the Discord server that they have in the description box below to be a part of their TCG community. So you can be part of the Yu-Gi-Oh community, the Pokemon, the Magic, whatever it is that you play. Be sure to go down there because they got one for you. And also, if you go up in store, be sure to tell them that the boys over at Semi-Limited sent you, and they'll be sure to definitely hook you guys up. And our last announcement before we get into today's episode is also to be sure to catch Brad, aka Mr. Perfect, and his streaming on Twitch every Saturday night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He will be on his Twitch streaming, whether it be deck profiles, maybe he's doing some testing, or maybe just labbing for new decks to go ahead and use at locals or terrorize the local scene with. But be sure to catch him streaming for about 2 hours between the hours of 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. And his Twitch account will be linked in that Linktree link below. So be sure to click on there and get on that. And be sure to interact with him because he always tells me everything that happens on stream, and it's your way to get heard on the podcast as well. Now, getting into today's episode, it's going to be really, really quick. I think we all know why I'm even here, why I'm even choosing to talk to you guys today out of the ordinary, putting up a new episode for you guys. And that is because the ban list just came out. So those who don't know, the ban list has just been released, which is today, Friday, September 15th. And it goes into effect September 25th, which would be in about 10 days, which means that it's all not legal quite yet, but it also allows us to have the events of YCS Cancun and for Syracuse players, the OTS championship that's going on at Millennium Games are also going to be under this current ban list, meaning that we can still play with the meta that we have today up until next Monday. So unfortunately, after that, the whole thing gets switched up. Unfortunately for me, at least. But let's get into it without any further ado. Here are the hits to the September 25th, 2023 list. Starting with at Band. You guys know him. You guys apparently hate him. But none other than Kashtira Player gets banned. He is the only card on this portion. He's the only card to get banned on this list. I don't know why Konami decided to only hit this card, but who can argue with the wise ones, you know? Moving on to the limits, we only have 2 cards limited this format, and it will be Bestial Magnuma and Chaos Space. So apparently Dragon Link was too strong. Paulie Aronson over here terrorizing worlds and apparently has made Dragon Link have a target on their back. So you guys can blame that one on the world's winner for these hits on Dragon Link. We have no semi-limit cards, but we do have a semi-limited podcast. Pun. But also going to 3, we also have Herald of the Orange Light and Salmon Great Gazelle. So just to recap quickly, Arise Heart, 0, ban, get him the fuck out of here. Bestial Magnum Chaos Space to 1, Herald of the Orange Light to 3, along with Salmon Great Gazelle as well. So overall thoughts on the list? Obviously, guys, I am pissed. I am Hickman level pissed out here. Konami is just giving Kashtira the archetype, a Rise Heart, and then taking it away 6 months later is absolute bullshit to me. It was a mids deck when it first came out. The support made it over the top. I'll give it that. It was very, very oppressive. Having things like Diablosis and the ability to lock all of your zones out before even getting a chance to play the game. All right, I can agree with that. But once they got rid of Diablosis, the deck became a lot more fair. Putting a Rise Heart at 1, I think, was even fair because although you can recycle him, you can't slap a new Arise Heart every turn and just start to get an advantage that way. Like, you can't make a 8 material Zeus one turn and then the other turn go back to having a Rise Heart and the macro Cosmo and the banishing effects and all that stuff. No, you just had to pick and choose. So I personally thought that it was good at 1. But I guess all of you guys are complaining too much, and Konami just said, fuck that. We fucked up. Let's get rid of him. So he's gone, especially after being a Starlight in the main set that I got him for, too. For those who don't know, I know a bunch of them, you guys probably do. I got a playset of Starlights when this shit first came out, and it was laughable at first when it came to 1, and then now to see it at 0, I'm just glad I got rid of them. So, all of you guys tagging me in those Starlight posts, I don't even have them anymore. I sold them after it went to 1 because I knew what the potential for this card was. Although it's well known as a powerhouse card, there were different answers for it in many different locations. In the main deck, the extra deck, the side deck. You guys were playing cards like Kaijus, cards like Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse, the extra deck monsters like Azalea and Unicorn, any kind of spot removal or negating side deck cards. People had Herald of the Abyss and, Thrust into Talents. Like, those are even in the main too. So there was definitely plenty of answers to the card. You guys are just being bitches, but whatever. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining too much, but Konami is a bitch and I'll never forgive them. So the hits to Dragon Link, I think, were weak, but to hit that deck in general, I guess, was merited. Although I saw Druid's Worm personally as more of a problem from the outside looking in than Magnamut. I can see how searching any dragon in your deck every turn could become a little bit overpowered, but definitely a surprise to me. Chaos Space I can also see being limited. It was a tutor to search almost any light or dark in your deck, as well as a +1 by putting a card back that you just banished, which is usually an extra deck monster, just to get another draw. So it was... I can see the merit for it. Whether I would have done it this list, I don't think I would have, but I can see the merit for it. And then Heralds of the Orange going to 3. No one gives a fuck. It wasn't doing shit at 2. Who cares about it going to 3 except maybe like a Drytron player or like the occasional Generate player if they're playing the Diviner package. So whatever. Salmon Great Gazelle literally coming off the list to 3. It was just so that way Konami could tell you guys once again to go buy that Soul Burning Volcano because that set is ass and it's still flopping. And obviously this is the only way they can get propaganda to boost those numbers. So go get your Gazelles while you're able to, I guess. But other than that, like the meta changes, it's in a weird spot to me. We're at the whims of really anything, in my opinion. Kashtira was a very, very pivotal part of the meta, allowing to keep other decks in check. Like, Pirelli couldn't get too strong because they couldn't afford to have all their spells banished. Branded couldn't be the best deck in the room because they had to special from the graveyard. And not even to say that Cash was the best deck in any room it went into. It was probably the most represented, but it definitely, like I said, has its ways to be handled and controlled. So it's not like it was the craziest, far and away best deck in the room. There were definitely other cards like it. But now to know that a Rise Heart's gone, Cash will be taking a step down. It probably will become more like a Shangri-La Control-esque type deck, I can assume, with more of the back row cards like Preparations going into it, maybe Ogre, and a couple more extra deck monsters that'll just try to mitigate, or maybe like Turbo Zeus to kind of like gives the deck something to do going second. But now that I think that a Rise Heart gone and the known enemy to most decks is gone, there's nothing to stop other decks from going too crazy. Like, nothing is going to keep a lid on the Synchro decks that are coming out here, whether it be just the Synchron deck in general or Monadium. Nothing is stopping Rescue Ace. Nothing's stopping Pirelli. We can even have decks come back like Tier Elements because nothing is going to really stop them besides maybe the occasional Flu player. We'll also see cards like Ultimate Slayer and Forbidden Droplets. We'll slowly start seeing more testing and play, especially after YCS Cancun, because who knows the ceiling of these decks now, especially with the decks being as strong as they were and not seeing any hits and then Kashtira being the really only brunt of this ban list. So it's a little bit underwhelming to list in general, but it's overwhelming how much they just don't like Kashtiras, right? So but yeah, that's all I really wanted to say today, guys. Like I said, short episode. Sorry for keeping it on the lower end, but we just wanted to make sure that we got this out to react to you guys, give you something to listen to over the weekend, and maybe some opinions from a Kashtira player as he's crying to maybe lighten your mood on the ban list a little bit. So before we start to run out of light points, just want to give everybody a reminder, the plugins, make sure you go to the Linktree link in the description box below. Follow all of our sites. You can click on it. It'll bring you directly to each and every single one of them. You can just click follow or subscribe or whatever it is that's there. You click it. Make sure to click the notification bell so you're notified every time we have a drop. Also, be sure to go in the description box below and follow that Discord for Unplugged Gaming. They are out in Manlius, New York, and they are growing their community every day. So be sure to be a part of that community by clicking the link down below. And last but not least, guys, every Saturday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Americans, Brad will be streaming on Twitch. So go down there, check it out. Be sure to interact with him because he always brings all the funny and notable parts of his stream to me, and we always sure to talk about them on the podcast for the Friday night wrap-up. So also, before we leave, just to announce, once again, we have that YouTube winner over here. We hit 50 subscribers on YouTube. So thankful for all of you guys for showing so much love to it. And I did an RNG generator on all of the subscribers, and it looks like our winner for the YouTube giveaway is at Fabio93. It looks like when I clicked on it, his name is Fabio Rodriguez. So congratulations, winner. If you are hearing this on YouTube, be sure to comment in the comment section down below that you are indeed the winner, and I'll be sure to reach out to you guys. If not, you can always be sure to reach out to any of our social sites, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, you name it. If you can find us on there, be sure to reach out and we will make sure to give you your prize. You have 1 week to claim your winnings before they get released to the backup winner, and we'll do another drawing if that comes down to it, which is why I'm not announcing what it is. But once we give it out and he successfully receives it, we'll be sure to announce what it was and what you guys can all be in the lookouts for next time. But without any further ado, I don't want to take all of your time away. I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your weekends. I am all out of light points. I am Player X, and you've been listening to the Semi-Limited Podcast. Thank you, and good night.